Hi, my name is Hannah. I am an Orthodox Christian and a veteran of the United States Navy.
For mine eyes have seen thy salvation, which thou hast prepared before the face of all people.
I grew up Roman Catholic, going to St. Hyacinth in Deer Park, Texas, with my family. Going to church as a child, I started off in the pews, and then I became an altar server, which in the Catholic Church, we women can be on the altars and help with the priests washing their hands in the holy water and holding up the gospel for the priest to read. It was really cool. It was an honor to be on stage like that and helping out during the services. And then as I got older, I started playing the viola, and I would play in my church choir with the other instrumentalists and the other musicians. And then after that, I think I just continued doing that until I graduated high school and joined the Navy, really. So when I was growing up, I realized that I wasn't as connected with my faith when I got into high school. Just because, it's rebellious teen years. I was a rebellious teen, thinking I knew everything. I didn't need anybody, but I always knew that no matter what I did, that I could always come back to the church and I could always go to confession. So Christ has been a part of my life, a very significant part of my life. I joined the Navy because, one, I was not ready for college. I was not mature enough. I wasn't as disciplined as I should have been to be able to buckle down and study on my own. It would have been just a disaster. So I joined the Navy to get that discipline, to get that maturity, and it did more than that. It gave me more than I could ever ask for. So going into the Navy was the best thing that I could have done for myself during that period of time. What I noticed about my faith when I joined the Navy was it actually grew stronger. I got a Bible from when I went to church on Sundays, because there's this thing in boot camp called holiday routine. On Sundays, it's the day of rest, quote unquote, but you'll be cleaning up your rack, you'll flip your mattress, you'll do a lot of the laundry, cleaning, just basic boot camp stuff. I was given a Bible from my first Mass at the Catholic Church at boot camp, and I actually slept with it. I would sleep with it under my pillow, or I'd just hold it in my hands and fall asleep. And I would read a bit of the Bible every now and then. But it was just to give me some peace of mind, because I always had that structure, that foundation of the Church of Christ, and I feel safe when I think and talk to Him and when I pray. Once I graduated boot camp, I got orders to Virginia at a strike fighter squadron, VFA 34, Blue Blasters. It was so much fun. It was the best command I could have asked for. We were stationed on the Carl Vinson, which is out here in California, so we'd fly back and forth, and I'd meet so many people on the Vinson. And that's where I did my first deployment, and unfortunately, that's where my faith started to crumble down in a sense. I met so many good people, but also had a very hard time still adjusting, because I'm still new. I got out of boot camp, I got these orders to Virginia, and right off the bat, I went on deployment, which is 3 months in boot camp, and right after that, going on a 7-month deployment, I believe. And that was hard. That was rough. As a 19-year-old in the Navy, first time away from home, it was rough. every Sunday we'd have holiday routine, just like we did in boot camp, and I'd go to mass on the boat because they have to provide liturgical services for all sorts of religions. You have Catholics. I remember a Wiccan. I remember a Wiccan service was going on before the Catholic mass, so it was interesting. I never heard of Wiccan until the Navy, so I haven't heard of a lot of things until the Navy, but yeah. I would go to liturgy almost every Sunday. It depended on when my LPOs would allow me to. Technically you're supposed to, they have to let you, but no one really pays attention to the black and white when there's a job that needs to get done, which is understandable because if something goes wrong, we all need to be there. But yeah. Once my deployment came to an end, we went back to Virginia. We flew about 5 hours to get back to the homeland and get back to work stateside. And when I was doing some routine maintenance, I got a call from a friend saying that one of my shipmates from the boat had unfortunately committed suicide. Can I say that? Okay. That I got a call from the boat saying that one of my friends from deployment had committed suicide, and that just brought me down a deep hole, and it led me into a depression. And shortly after that, I got another call. Long story short, I've lost about 35 friends to suicide, and that has been over a total of my 7 years in the service. And about 5 years in, about my 3rd year mark in the service was when I really started to hit a low point, started to experience depression and damaging thoughts myself. And so I went to church, and I started to go to church again. And it was hard finding a new Catholic church where I was, because, sometimes they were all, they spoke different languages. I know one of them was Tagalog, and I was learning some of that, but I only knew how to say good morning, so it wasn't really the easiest thing going to church again. But I still went. I still got communion. I still tried to stick around to talk to some people, but it wasn't really the community that I could really relate to, because there was a big language barrier. It was hard. But yeah, with that, I just ended up, I tried to make it work, but it just didn't work out. So I went to the schools, and I volunteered at the schools, and I taught the kids how to play their instruments right. I was a volunteer at a couple elementary schools, and I would volunteer with the orchestra teachers and do private sections with the cellos, the violas, the violins, and the basses were a struggle. I didn't know how to read the music, but that's great. So I felt like I was able to do my part at the schools, because I liked being a CCE teacher, and CCE in the Catholic faith stands for Continuing Catholic Education. And so I was a CCE teacher at my home church. I couldn't do it out here because I wasn't a member of the parishes yet. So I just did the next best thing, and I went to an elementary school, and I started teaching there. It was great. I loved it. So that helped me with my depression and with my spiritual faith. It really, really grew when I was able to do that.
That's really awesome, Hannah. That's awesome. So you were finding a way in your life then to
somehow do God's work.
Yeah. Through. Yeah. I still can't believe, and I'm going to sneeze, I apologize. I still can't believe that you've known that many people that have committed suicide. It's
a lot.
It's hard for me.
Navy?
2 civilian, bless you, 2 civilian, and then one of my friends, he was actually killed in Africa.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was a Marine. He died recently, September of 22, I believe. Yeah, he was a good friend of mine in high school. He was on the swim and dive team.
Wow. Do you think he? Do you think it's connected to the Navy? Like, was it too intense for them or something? Or?
No, he was killed in action.
No, sorry.
Other people,
Yeah.
I don't know. Everyone has their ups and downs, but yeah, your command can make or break you. I know my command had my most recent commands have been extremely hateful, and it was just a very toxic relationship. It was not healthy, and it took a toll on my mental health. It's a very big toll on my mental health. But thank God for the church, thank God for being here in San Diego with this church.
Hannah, is suicide a major pandemic in the military?
Yeah, suicide is a very big thing, very big in the Navy. We have suicide awareness training, and we have all these trainings to help prepare us on how to deal with someone who is suicidal or feeling suicidal thoughts. But it's a bunch of buttons on a computer screen. You click next, you answer the questions right, you're done. Especially the males. Males, unfortunately, when they talk about their feelings, they're considered as weak, especially in the military. And being a female, I'm already a female, so it's okay for me to be emotional. It's all right. I get a pass. But unfortunately, for the men, it's not. The Navy taught me leadership skills. They taught me how to talk to different people, how to ask for things, how to guide people, how to mentor people. And that helped me a lot in the civilian world, because I would have to have a second job, and I would learn how to talk with my coworkers on how to get certain tasks done. So it helped out. With all of the depression and the hateful energy that I was surrounded with constantly, it really helped. It really opened my eyes to other people's perspectives and other people's struggles. And that's why now, no matter where I go, no matter what I do, I'm constantly trying to spread smiles, to spread that positivity, and to just be welcoming to everyone that I can. It's such an important thing to make others feel wanted, to help give them that peace of mind that they are wanted, they are needed, they are included. No one should ever feel like they're left out, or they're not worth it, that you are never a waste of space. So I try to spread that positivity and awareness with everyone that I interact with. And I think that's what I got. I think that's my greatest gift that I've been given from the Navy. The greatest lessons that I've learned is that everyone deserves to be spoken to with kindness. You don't deserve to be talked down to. There's negativity is toxic, and there's a saying, negativity likes company. I think that's the saying. Misery. There's a saying called misery likes company, and man, is that true. So might as well switch around misery to positivity and spread positivity, because smiles are contagious, almost as contagious as yawns are. So yeah, just smile. And that's what I really learned from the military. That's what I took from it. And what's funny is that, like, I was at work one day and I was smiling, and one of my coworkers was like, he was putting me down. He was being such a jerk. And I was like, he's like, I was like, what did I do? What did I do to deserve that? He flipped me off for like asking for a chair. And I was like, what? Why? He said, you're just like, why are you smiling? It's like, what? And we're doing hard labor. For context, we're doing some hard labor. We're setting up about 460 wedding chairs for this admiral, and just doing the 60 by 40 tent. It's a gigantic tent. It's a lot of work, and I'm just having a blast getting it done. It is what you make it. I'm a firm believer in that, so I was having fun. And he was putting me down. I was like, what did I do to deserve the bird? Like, what did I do? And he said, like, why are you just smiling? Like, why are you smiling? It's making me angry. In nicer words, he said, it's making me angry. And I was like, dude, I'm just here. We're almost done. We're getting it done. It's going along smoothly. And he just wasn't happy that I was happy. And it was getting to the point where my LPO stepped in, and thank God he took over the situation, because that's just that. But that's just a little story of how the Navy hates positivity. Like, it's bad. About 5 years into my service in the Navy, I met my boyfriend, and we're really good. We're a power couple. We're going camping, mountain climbing. We're doing all these hikes. And I find out that he wants to start going to church with me. And I was like, yeah, we can go to church. And so we went church hopping. I don't know if that's the proper, because you know how you go bar hopping?
I've heard of that term, church hopping.
Church hopping?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I didn't know if that was like a...
Searching, hopping.
We went church hopping for a while, trying to find a good Catholic church for us to start going to. And I think we were about 3 churches in, and one day he comes up saying, hey, bear with me. What do you think about going to an Orthodox church? I was like, no, thank you. I'm Roman Catholic. I believe in one God, the Father Almighty. That's about it. He was like, no. It's the same God. It's just not ruled by an imperfect man. And he was referring to the Pope. I was like, but the Pope is... in a way, he is imperfect, but Jesus was the only imperfect man, and so his word is true. So I was very conflicted, but I was open-minded, and I said, all right, we can go. And I was like, all right, I'll give Orthodoxy a shot. I'll go to this church. I'll go. We'll go to this church. We'll see what it's like. And so we went to St. Anthony's, and we experienced liturgy for the first time. The moment we walked into church, we were greeted by a lovely woman who sat us with 2 other individuals in the church, and they guided us all throughout the liturgy and answered all my questions. I had a lot of questions, and I'm pretty sure that I was annoying them, but they answered my questions with grace and love, and that was awesome. It's very welcoming natured. With everyone there, and afterwards we have this thing called agape. It's where we all gather for coffee hour and food, and because it's lunchtime and we're all hungry, so we all go and we eat and we talk. And I was introduced to Father John Ryman. And should I just say Father? Yeah, I was introduced to Father John. And he introduced me. He introduced himself, and we got to know each other. Me and Alex, we got to know about the church, about the parish, about the clergy, and how things kind of go at the church during this conversation. And we were also introduced to a couple other military members who were in the church too, and that was awesome because we had some familiar territory. So that was great. I think the first person that we met was a ex-Marine. He was a Marine vet, and we just clicked right off the bat, and we got to know everyone there. It was great. After church, we went back to his house to, go our separate ways. And I was asking him about how he found out about Orthodoxy. And he said that he was listening to a podcaster, a famous podcaster. Shout out to Jay Dyer. He was listening to Mr. J, and he really fell in love with. He was really fascinated with what he had to say about Orthodoxy, which led him to Andrew Wilson, and just hearing these ortho bros go at it online with these other dudes. Don't want to get too into it, but he found the Orthodox Church, and that's what made him say, hey, let's go to an Orthodox church. And when he explained to me what he's learned, and I did my own research, like this is a couple months into the faith, I'm realizing that, wow, yeah, this is the true faith. This is the way, the famous path that is constantly quoted. So when I went to the Orthodox Church for the first time, it was very overwhelming. When I first walked in, I see these icons. Well, before I knew they were icons, I just thought they were just giant paintings on the walls. Like, wow, it was a lot to take in. I saw all the stories. This painting of the Theotokos, Virgin Mary at the time, I was like, oh, she's holding her hands up and she's painted gold all around her. It's like, what? That's intense. It was very overwhelming, but the people that I met and the community made it, they broke it down. They broke down all my questions regarding the icons and just the ways that they worship, and why liturgy is about 2 hours long. But it helped me realize that I need to learn more about this. I really need to become more involved in the church. This is amazing. And once I got past this, I had a barrier of, I don't want to be at church for, who wants to be at church for 2 hours? I don't want to be at church for 2 hours for liturgy alone. No, thank you. But I realized that Sunday isn't about getting my laundry done. Every Sunday before I left my house, I would do laundry, I'd get housework done. It's clean, it's holiday routine at home, But it's Sunday, it's the Lord's Day for a reason. And once I got past that barrier of all these chores I need to do when I get home, it didn't matter to me. It didn't matter to me how long I was at church, because Sunday is the Lord's Day and it's not about me. It's not about me and what I have to do. It's about the man who died for our sins, who put up with a lot of torment and hatred for us, just to die on that cross and to embrace all of our sins and to forgive us all. That is what Sunday is about. So once I got past that, it was a lot easier for me to be at church and fully invested. Being a Roman Catholic from birth and going to St. Anthony's, which is a Antiochian Orthodox church, there weren't a lot of differences. There really wasn't. The only main differences were there is no pope, and the way that you do confession. I like how I don't have to do a chore. Like, I have to do 10 Hail Marys. I have to do the rosary 5 times. I have to say 8 Our Fathers, and that just makes me not want to go to confession. But with confession in the church and with the lessons from the spiritual fathers there, it really helped me fully, and I'm not fully, because I'm still learning, but it helped me understand more of the church, and it helped me understand the way why the differences are. That's a very difficult. My favorite thing about Orthodoxy is honestly everything. I love the music from the choir. It's so genuine. It's not like a rock concert. It's not entertainment based. It is very soul felt. It is very fulfilling, and you can see it on the faces of our choir members. I love the priest's daughters, watching them in the choir. It's so beautiful. You can tell everyone there too, even just a lot of the parish members, you can tell they love what they're doing just by their facial expressions, the power and the emotion they're putting into what they're singing. It's not a performance. It really isn't. It's a way of worship, and it's not for entertainment. And that's just it's beautiful. And the people, they're really, the welcoming nature of Orthodoxy and its people is just indescribable. It's overwhelming in a good way. You'll never be sitting alone. And even if you sit down and you don't have anyone to sit next to you, someone will come up and talk to you. Someone will get to know you, and you won't be alone. And that's what I really like about it, especially with my experience in the Navy. But yeah, especially with my experience in the Navy, I was able to escape that when I came to church. I was able to be who I am in church. I was able to just be myself. I know I already said that, but really it is. No cares. It's beautiful. No one will ever judge you, because who are we to judge? Like, we're all going through some turmoil ourselves. We're not perfect. No. So it's lovely. And I'm a goober, so I like how no one's gonna judge me. It's great. They all accept you for who you are, and it's that's one thing that I will always love about the church. After experiencing all these blessings that the church has to offer, I got completely on board with converting to Orthodoxy. And by doing that, you have to enroll as an inquirer, I believe.
Catechumen, you mean?
Well, because you have to be an inquirer first to be a catechumen, right?
An inquirer is kind of very loose. It's just kind of someone who's coming around interested in Orthodoxy.
Ortho-curious.
They're ortho-curious.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not really like an official thing.
Okay.
Becoming a catechumen is an official
Is a thing. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. After experiencing all the blessings that Orthodoxy has to offer, I got completely on board with enrolling as a catechumen. And with that, that's preparing you. What it means to become a catechumen, it means that you're going to fully submerge yourself into the knowledge of what the church has to offer you. You're going to learn about what you're getting into, and your life as a baptized Orthodox Christian. And as a catechumen, it prepares you for that life. And I made that decision based off of my experience, and it was the best decision I had ever made. Because now I'm an Orthodox Christian of a little over a year now. Lazarus Saturday was my baptism date. When me and my boyfriend decided to, before the decision was made for us to become catechumens, I learned that my boyfriend was an atheist. He grew up Roman Catholic, experienced some turmoils, and became an atheist. And I didn't know. I had no idea that he was an atheist at the time until we decided to become catechumens together. And during the catechumen process, during your initiation, is it tonsure? Okay, during your initiation as a catechumen, you say, it's a lengthy book. There's a lengthy book of prayer, but during a certain part of the prayers, you actually spit on the devil. So you walk outside the church. My Texan's really coming out. You walk outside the church and you spit on the ground. I denounce Satan. Go away. Bye. Shoo. Forever. And seeing him do that, seeing just how, because we did it together, and so I was able to experience it with him, but seeing him, being there with him, I was able to see how emphatic he was while saying these prayers, saying these words. I do denounce Satan. I do, and I don't want to get too into it to spoil the surprise, but seeing him feel so strongly about it really sunk it into me, like, yeah, we're doing this. It was great. And then we became catechumens together. About a year into us going to St. Anthony's, not quite so much a year as catechumens, but just the church in general, my boyfriend, he actually got out of the Navy. And we had to fly back to Massachusetts. So long distance, but it's not as hard because we're both military, we're both used to deployments, we're both used to being away from family for a while. So I believe that the Navy was also a blessing in that sense to really help make our relationship last during our long distance. It definitely was easier for us than some, unfortunately, but yeah, or gratefully. As our relationship long distance is great. I don't know, I messed up.
No, it's okay. Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, it's good that it's good.
Okay.
I don't know. I feel like we can.
I was gonna say that that's how we stay together. We still go to church, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, do you guys talk about it? You guys talk about, like, has he talked about his parish over there? Like, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
If you want.
Yeah. We are long distance, but we're still close with the church. Our relationship is not long distance when we're in the church and we talk about our church experiences. He created the men's choir in his church, and he's getting tonsured as a reader soon, depending on when the bishop can come down and get him going. He is getting tonsured as a reader, and so that's very exciting.
Talking about a little surprise, that's amazing.
I know. Yeah.
That's
Reader
great.
out. Yeah, Reader out.
Reader out.
Yeah.
Another Reader out.
Reader out. And he started at the choir?
He started as an atheist, got into the church, got into the choir at his church, created the men's choir on Saturdays and Wednesdays, I believe, and now he's getting tonsured as a reader soon. So that is from an atheist to a reader. That's mind-blowing. That is amazing. And it all has to do with the grace and thanks of God.
Thanks be to God. That's huge. That's awesome.
During my process of becoming baptized, I chose the Saint Helen of Constantinople, and I learned that she went on a journey to find the true cross of Christ. I chose Saint Helen as my saint because of her story of finding the cross and simply touching one of the three. She touched each of the crosses, and when she touched the one in the center, I believe, she was completely healed. And she brought that cross back to Constantinople, where she continued to spread the word of God, to spread Christianity with her son. And she built 3 cathedrals on the marks of the Holy Land. So So that was awesome. That I found that very inspiring, and I related to that because I was very troubled. I was very lost, and in my journey to find Christ, I was healed. I did my lifelong confession. I was really engaged with the people in the church, which healed me spiritually. And really, going to church, I felt healed. I am healed. And it's a huge blessing. So that's why I chose St. Helen as my saint, just because it's just so inspiring and so relatable to me. Hi, my name is Helena, and I am a Navy veteran. And my chosen passage, my favorite passage, has to be John 11, verse 1 to 44. And that's the story of Lazarus. And it's amazing that I was baptized on Lazarus Saturday because I relate to the story of Martha and Mary and Lazarus, the three siblings who were torn apart by death. But with their love of their brother, Mary and Martha pleaded with Jesus to please save their brother, to please do something, because Lazarus had been dead in the tombs for 4 days. And Jesus was able to raise him from the dead, and just by calling out, "Arise." And Lazarus, amongst others in the tombs, rose from the dead, and that is so amazing. And I relate to that passage a lot because my brother, I had an older brother, his name was PJ. He died at a very young age, and I'm grateful, but also it's sad that I am the only one of my siblings who got to be around him. I was young when he died, but I was still around him. And so I related on a personal level to that passage of just the story of Lazarus dying, and I felt the grief of his sisters, and I felt that, and I just took it to heart, and I know the pain that they were going through, and it's just no one, especially a parent, should ever go through the loss of a child. And hearing that Jesus was in another town, he came to Bethlehem. No, he came to Bethany. Sorry. He was in another town. He came to Bethany, and he was able to raise the dead. It was awesome. It was great. So I chose that, and it was great because I was also reborn on my baptism. So it was like I was risen from the dirt, made bright, shiny, new again.
And tell us about if you have a son, what you're going to name.
Me and my boyfriend in the future, we're gonna get married, but we're gonna have a child together. Obviously, we're gonna get married before we have a kid. But me and my boyfriend, we've already picked out a name for our boy. His name is gonna be Lazarus Anthony. Lazarus from, Lazarus, and Anthony for St. Anthony's. And that's gonna be awesome. So excited for that. My life at the Church of St. Anthony's has been blessed with not only the young adults group, the children that I am with on Sundays, but also with this amazing podcast that I was invited on. It's called Cloud of Witnesses, Journeying with the Saints. And it's where we talk about the saints, and we basically do a play, I guess, like a voice play. I don't know what that's called. We do a audio drama of the saints and their lives before they became venerated saints. It is truly an amazing blessing that I am honored to be a part of, and it's really helped me learn about all the different saints in the Orthodox faith. And because as a Roman Catholic, I didn't really learn about the saints. I didn't learn about who St. John is, or who St. Febronia is, or why St. Patrick is more than just a drinking holiday. I love it so much, and it's helping me to learn more and more about our faith. And every day is a learning opportunity. I am truly blessed to be a part of it. One of the fun things that I've gotten to do here at St. Anthony's is be a voice actress. Never done it before until my very first episode on Cloud of Witnesses Journeying with the Saints. We did St. Febronia. And originally it was supposed to be 2 other females in our congregation who were supposed to take the role, but something happened. They weren't able to come. So I was volunteered to do it. It's like, yeah, sure. It's my first time, but I'll give it all I got. And it is my favorite episode. Even though it took me a long time to listen to, it took me a long time to listen to myself on a recording, I fell in love with the episode, and we continued to do more and more and more, and I got to learn more and more and more about the saints and the lives that they had before they were saints. It was beautiful. It's a great experience. I really love it.
It's awesome. See, that was way better.
Yeah.
That's Hannah talking to you. Yeah, that was good. That was smooth. Yeah. Okay, what do you think?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, we got everything we need.
That's
That's awesome.
awesome.
Great work. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Hannah.
For the face of all peoples,
I'm telling you, Hannah, I wish you could see this shot right now. Nick, it looks so good.
I'm worried that my makeup looks bad.
It could be better.
I know, right?
I couldn't even tell you're wearing makeup.
Okay.
Just,
Sometimes I
Don't
wouldn't
listen to him. He's a guy. He
No.
doesn't know what he's talking
No,
about.
I was just thinking
That was classic.
of what Dom said. What was it? He was like, you don't like being embarrassed or something.
Yeah, no, I
I was
don't.
like, oh, this is gonna be good.
He'll say like, cause I'll ask if whatever it is that I'm doing is okay or if it looks good or whatever, and then sometimes I'll do like the thing that's like opposite, and it'll just be embarrassing, but it's okay cause it's all right.